Hello, fellow movie crusaders, and welcome to another episode of Sean's Movie Crusades. My name's Sean Wassergroup, and today we're going to be reviewing the indie flick Guns Akimbo. I know there's a lot of people who probably don't know what this movie is. It was kind of a trailer that just kind of popped up on my YouTube feed one day, and I saw the trailer and I was like, I have to see this movie because this movie looks batshit crazy, and it definitely was. Guns Akimbo is basically the general plot of it is we follow the character of Miles, played by Harry Potter's own Daniel Radcliffe. He's basically a tech guy who's also a troll on the side. And it's just kind of like in the future where there is a real life reality game where two people are pitted to kill each other throughout the town. So it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto meets the video game Manhunt. There's like two characters, they don't care about the law. They just have to kill one another, and whoever survives wins. And then that person goes on to the next match, and the next match, and the next match, kind of like a Running Man. It's a lot of things kind of mixed together from previous films. But we follow Miles, who's basically a troll who attacks the message boards of this game show. It's called Schism, by the way. And of course, it pisses off the people who run Schism. And so they decide, Miles, you are now officially in this game. And they basically knock him out and bolt two guns to his hands and say, you have to go and kill the reigning unstoppable champion, Nyx, played by Samara Weaving. And if you don't kill her in 24 hours, you're dead, or Nyx will kill you herself. And so we have Miles basically running through town scared. The cops are after him. Nyx is after him. And he can't really do anything about it because if he runs away, then the Schism people will kill him on his own. And so he's basically having to try to figure out what to do while his hands are bolted to these guns, basically. And he can't put pants on. He can't do anything, really, except for shoot. And he only has 50 bullets in each gun on his own. So he's in a very troubling situation. And that's basically the plot of Guns Akimbo. What I liked about this film is actually surprisingly really fun. Like, once it gets out of its crazy 10-15 minutes where it's just kind of showing everything all over the place, and it shows a lot of characters that really aren't necessarily needed to be seen, such as like the fans watching the show, which are very poorly acted generic characters that are seen throughout the film. Once we get Miles in the actual game of Schism, that is when the movie really starts to kind of go in the right path and really starts to become a fun and interesting film overall. Daniel Radcliffe, I love Daniel Radcliffe. This kid could have just coasted on his Harry Potter career and not done anything inventive or new. But Daniel Radcliffe tends to just always go out there and find a role to do that is so far left field that you never would expect someone of his caliber to go and do, such as something like Swiss Army Man, Woman in Black, What If for the rom-com people, and even with something like this with Guns Akimbo. This is definitely not a film I never would have expected someone like Daniel Radcliffe to do, and he does it great. The Miles character, he's a twerp, he's a little whiny kind of complainer. He's not a character that you're supposed to like, but then through the film, your character, he builds. There's great character development for Miles throughout this film, and you grow to like his character just like the fans of Schism themselves. They hate him, and then they grow to love him. Nyx, played by Samara Weaving, her character is kind of just like this cocaine-fueled tornado that just tears through everything. But halfway through the film, we start to get some backstory on her, and you start to understand her reasonings and why she is the way she is, and that character starts to come full circle. That is one thing that's great about this film, is that we are kind of thrown down this one path, and you think you kind of know how all the characters are, but as the movie goes, we're getting more layers to these characters and to the story itself, and it becomes a more complete, full film, which I really, really like, and it definitely was something I wasn't expecting coming out of this movie. The only things I really didn't care for, personally, was the main villain, Richter, played by Ned Deney. He just plays it too cheesy. There's a level of cheese that works really well, such as like Ewan McGregor and Birds of Prey, and then there's just overdoing it, and the character of Richter is overdoing it to the max, and it just didn't work for me overall. And then the only other thing that to me didn't really work is, like I said, the fans of Schism that we are constantly showed throughout the film, watching Miles do what he does. They weren't needed. They take you out of the experience of what you're watching, and ultimately are just a lot of very bad actors. But the actual main character of the story, Samara Weavy, Daniel Radcliffe, those two, I think, do a great job. The choreography, the action sequences, I think, are done incredibly well. And it's just a whole lot of fun watching just a straight-up shoot-'em-up. For people who are fans of the movie Shoot-'em-Up, Free Fire, anything like that, where it's almost kind of like a video game shoot-'em-up, just balls-to-the-wall craziness, you're going to love Guns Akimbo. It's not the best movie out there. There are a lot of problems with the film in itself, but for some reason, I really enjoyed this movie overall. I had a lot of fun watching it. And so going to overall recommendations, I highly recommend Guns Akimbo if you're into those kinds of films. Or if you want to see Daniel Radcliffe really just do something different that you're not used to seeing him doing, highly, highly, highly recommend Guns Akimbo. I think you're going to have a lot of fun overall. And it branches off to a potential of sequels, which we will probably never get. But yeah, I definitely recommend Guns Akimbo. I'm going to give Guns Akimbo a 6.7 out of 10 because, like I said, it does have its issues. But overall, it's a highly enjoyable film for me. And I would definitely, to me, I feel like it'll hit that cult classic level that people will talk about it for years to come, but you have to kind of be in the know to hear about it. So I definitely recommend you guys checking this Guns Akimbo out. I think you guys will have a fun time watching it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you guys did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys feel like this review is worth sharing, go ahead and hit that share button. But most importantly, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos that pop up on Sean's Movie Crusades. And of course, don't forget to follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Coming up next, I don't know what we got coming up next. We do have My Spy coming out on Friday, but I am going to be probably watching some more movies between now and then. So up until this point, we'll see what videos I drop here in the upcoming week. If you guys want any movies reviewed that I have not reviewed so far, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will try to watch them and get them put up on the channel for you. But yeah, until next time, in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Movie Crusaders.